What's up, ladies, gents, and everyone in between? This is the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. I'm your host, Grandpa, on this screen. That's Michelle on the other. Say what's up, Michelle.
What's up, Michelle?
Just checking to see if we can still do this thing. This is our first podcast in what, 5 weeks?
It's been a
Give
minute.
or take. Yeah. I am done with my prior commitment and I am able to have more free time now to resume podcasting and everything else going on in life. But anyway, we are back and we've got plenty to talk about. I think so, anyway.
A little bit.
Um, yeah. But before we get going, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit your screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series. And you can find us, the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at TR Don't Last.
Good job.
You wouldn't have known that we've been gone 6 weeks or 5 weeks by listening to that. I still got it.
You did great. Good job.
Yeah. I about fumbled a little bit though because you were doing something over there with your fingers.
Do you want to see what I was doing for those of you watching on YouTube or Spotify?
Is a cat involved?
No, I was messing with my plant.
Okay. Well, we can see part of it because everything else is blurred out. I mean, I've seen your place like it's less than 24 hours ago. It's not that messy. Is there a dead body you're hiding or what?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you kind of gave yourself away right there. But anyway, um, so latest, what did we even talk about last time? I haven't listened in a while, at least to our show. I think our last run was the Soma Main Street Mile, right?
It was, yes.
And that was both of our, that was the last race for both of us prior to yesterday, correct?
Correct.
Well, I picked things right back up. I Why I was gone for the last 5 weeks, I've been in school. I was in anatomy and physiology too, the summer portion of the course, and it was a 5 week course. And it was a heavy workload over those 5 weeks. I mean, we covered all 16 weeks worth of material, which you normally get in a normal semester term. We did all that in 5 weeks, so I didn't have time really for anything else other than work and school. Um, but I finished up. I took my test Thursday night. I turned everything in Friday, and then Saturday morning, it was race day. It was the Hope Watermelon 5K in Hope, Arkansas. It was a champion, or it is a championship Grand Prix race. So I needed to bring my A game for that. I did not have my A game. I had the best I had yesterday. Whatever I had yesterday, I gave. Um, didn't puke or anything after, so maybe could have given a little more. But I felt like I saw the video of me finishing. I always wonder, did I have a little more in the tank that I could have given? Because I don't want to leave a race like that thinking I had something left. And I didn't feel that way. I knew during I was like, this is the best I got today. This is as good as it's going to get. And I never I won't say I questioned my effort, but you almost want validation that you gave that kind of effort. And then I saw the video of me finishing that that a cruiser took of me finishing, and I was just gassed. I mean, you could tell by the look on my face, I was just gassed and just I finished strong as I could, but I did finish, and yeah, did it in just over 23 minutes. I don't remember what my official time was, 23:03, something like that. But um, that I you asked me what my goal was yesterday because we rode there together yesterday at Southwest Arkansas, uh, and For me, it's a 2 hour drive. For you, it's a little over an hour. And you were on the way. I picked you up, and then we headed that direction. You asked me what my goal was. I was still half asleep because Thursday night I got 3.5 hours of sleep, maybe. I think it was that. And Friday night I got a little over. I think I got like 5. So I was very tired, but still going. I really didn't. I couldn't put into words what my goal was because I didn't know what to expect really of myself. But in my mind, I thought 22 and a half minutes is probably a realistic goal. I was a little over 7 minutes on the first mile. Mile two, I'd slowed down some, 7.5, and it was about the same for mile three, I think. Yeah, so finished in just over 23. I didn't really look at my watch. Never really. I looked at my watch one time that I can recall, and that was at mile one. I looked and I was like, okay, 7:07, I think it was. And I didn't look at it again because I was just going to give what I had. And that's what it was across the finish line. They're really good about that in Hope. They have a whole tub thing of like ice water with sponges, and they give you the sponge. You can put it on your head, neck, and all that, and cold water with it. Grab that. Sponge went okay. When you got your sponge, where did you put it? Like
I
first place.
immediately put it like on my chest and my neck.
Okay. Yeah, my first spot was my neck, the back of my neck, went straight to the back of the neck, and then I went straight to the top of my head, straight to the top of my bald head, and that felt great. Went over and dapped up a couple people, uh, caught my breath, sipped away at the ice cold water they gave me, and I was talking to my friend Todd, who's pretty fast, and he was sitting there. We're both soaked, by the way. I mean, we're both just drenched in sweat at this point, and because it was warm. I mean, it's August in Arkansas, and so it was warm. And as he was talking to me, I just my right eye was just burning. Yeah, it had gotten sweat in it, and I was sitting here as he was talking to me, trying to pay attention and get it out of my eye, wipe it out. And I was thinking I could use the sponge to wipe it. And maybe there wasn't much water left in it at that point, but I was thinking maybe whatever water's in here and the sponge can help get the sweat out. No, basically I had taken all the sweat from my neck and the top of my head and just rubbed it right into my eye, making it even worse. So as he's sitting there talking to me, I'm just having to pour water into my eye to wash all that sweat out. And that's not a fun feeling. I mean, I've dealt with it my whole life, football especially. In football, I got used to it because you got a helmet there, and there's not really a way to get it out, so you kind of just push through and deal with it. You kind of get accustomed to it. But it's been a long time since I played football, so I just get it from running now and then wiping my eye like that. But yeah, it was a good time. The watermelon this year was significantly better than the watermelon last year. That's another thing about this race. I mean, it is called the watermelon 5K. They give you, they have sliced watermelon there waiting on you after. Last year, it wasn't. I never had a Hope watermelon. They talked about how great Hope watermelons were, and the ones we got last year weren't very ripe, so they weren't very good. And I was like, well, this isn't very good if this is a Hope watermelon. No, yesterday they were excellent. At least the ones I had were very good. The red and the yellow ones. And I ate 4 pieces of watermelon. I was one of the first ones to cross. Well, first group of people to cross. And so I grabbed a red and a yellow and was eating that as I was just, recovering. Then I went back later for more, and they just had the yellow watermelon left there. So I grabbed 2 more and wolfed those down. But the watermelon was very good. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you score the watermelon you had?
Oh, the red watermelon was probably a 9.5 watermelon. It was one of the best watermelon I've had.
Very good. Yeah.
The yellow, I'm gonna give a 4. The yellow one that I had was not sweet. It was not good. Like, not ripe, not ready, not good.
Uh, both were both were very good to me. The red one probably I'll say an 8.5 on the red that I had. Very good, but I've had Cave City watermelon, and that's as good as I've ever had. But the that's not a knock on the one I had yesterday. It was very good. I'll say 8.5 for the red. I'm gonna go solid 7.5 for the yellow. The yellow I had was very good. And I had three of them because when I went back for seconds, the red was all gone.
Yeah,
I imagine that was the more popular pick because when you think watermelon, you don't think yellow watermelon.
right.
But I like yellow watermelon.
I
But
typically do like yellow watermelon. And it was just the one because when I had seen you the first time, I said I only got red. And so I went back to get a piece of yellow. And I wish I hadn't, unfortunately.
what I had was good. I like yellow watermelon too, and I don't know. I got good pieces. I mean, I looked too. I didn't just grab the first one there. I looked. I was like, "What looks like a good piece? That looks like that is either that looks the best, and people probably haven't breathed all over and sweated on stuff like that too."
True. Very true.
I took all that into consideration as I grabbed a piece. But either way, light years difference between this year and last year. Now we didn't stick around for the watermelons that they hand out to runners just because it yeah, we would have been there that much longer.
I was gonna say, I would have stood in a line to get a watermelon. It was the fact that the watermelon weren't even there yet that I didn't want to stick around. That is how I want to be very clear. I would have been like, no, I'm waiting in this line. But I
Yeah,
wasn't gonna wait for the watermelon to arrive and then wait in the line.
makes sense. Now we could have gone back. It might have been an easy process had we gone back and checked because we went to the look at the cars at the car show after because
That's
it's a big thing. The watermelon festival they have, it's a big thing they have there. They have food vendors, like a typical carnival type of atmosphere. Um, various stages set up all over the baseball and softball fields there, and just that whole park area. The car show is awesome. There were some really nice cars there, cars and trucks that I was fascinated by. Of the cars or trucks that were there, which was your favorite? And I'll probably post some pictures on my Twitter or X, and then retweet them through our Tough Runs Don't Last X account.
hmm. Um, I liked the Mustang that we saw at the end. I don't remember what year it was, but it was next to the Shelby. It was a very nice Mustang. Um, I did like the Mustang.
Well, I didn't really break it down. There were lots of Mustangs. You talking about
The one
there
at
was a
the
there was
end.
a white one with the blue stripes,
No.
or vice versa. That was my favorite Mustang, the Shelby Cobra.
Mhm.
That was not my favorite vehicle. Uh, that teal convertible Thunderbird, probably my favorite. Co-favorite would have been that '57 Black Bel Air coupe. That was probably or two door.
Yeah. I also really liked the hearse just because it was fun.
The hearse was awesome. There was an old hearse there, antique hearse, and it was all decked out with uh, a Chucky doll on the front and a guy in a Jason mask in the back. I mean, it was all decked out. That was just a fun vehicle.
Yeah, it was just like decorated. It was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, there was a lot of really nice vehicles there though. That gave us something to do after because usually, like last year, I did the race and I just went home. I just because I didn't get an award or anything, so I just bounced. I was like, I don't want to wait around for a watermelon. I was also by myself, so I just I mean, I knew like I had friends there, like within the cruisers and all that to hang out with after. But at a certain point, I was like, I'm gonna go. I want coffee and etc. So I got out of there. This year, I actually was like, because I did a cool down. Me and Todd did a cool down, and we did kind of a loop, and it was about a mile loop. and we ran by the cars, and he made the comment that would be cool to run between, like running between the cars. And I'm like, yeah. And so I made it a point, or I wanted to come back and look at those cars because that teal Thunderbird caught my eye, and I was like, I want to go back and look at that again. So we went back and looked at it, and I guess we could have gone back to see if the watermelons were there, but it was hot, and we were both like, let's get out of here. We're going to
Yeah.
go get coffee anyway.
Yeah.
So we did that. Got Cracker Barrel. Uh, Best Cracker Barrel experience I've had in forever, maybe ever, just because I've had nothing but bad ones within the last 10 years. And to the point I said, I'm not eating at a Cracker Barrel in Arkansas. We stopped in Arkadelphia. We had the option of Cracker Barrel and Waffle House, and you preferred Cracker Barrel. I was like, I'll give it a try, and it was A+ from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Server Gwendolyn was great. Manager was great. Food was good. A+ experience at the Cracker Barrel in Arkadelphia. So shout out to them. You have officially changed my mind on Cracker Barrels, at least within the state in Arkadelphia.
It was a very good Cracker Barrel.
It was.
Yeah. I was nervous at first.
I was nervous. Yeah.
I was also just nervous at first because our server, Gwen, she was really great. But she was very busy, so it took her a minute to get to us at first. And I was just like, oh no. Like I was like, this is gonna be another poor experience. But it was not. She was great. We knew she was busy. Like it was a Saturday morning. So we weren't like, but I was just like, ugh.
Well, here's the thing though. It took a minute, but I didn't think it took that long.
Yeah,
And she was like, I thought she was overly apologetic about the
she
wait,
was. She was. Yeah.
which is, I guess, the right way to handle that. But we were just both like, we're the ideal, like perfect, I think, guest for a server, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Because I've worked in restaurants growing up. I know how busy they are. I know how tough that job can be. So I'm sympathetic to them in a lot of ways. But having worked in that business, I know what's good service and what isn't. And when you are being lazy or just suck at what you do. So I had that experience at the previous two Cracker Barrels within the last 10 years, to the point I said, I'm not going back to another Cracker Barrel in Arkansas. So it's amazing. I even went to one yesterday in Arkansas, but the Arkadelphia one killed it. So, like, as in a positive way.
Yes.
Excellent by everyone all around.
Yeah.
Manager came and asked how the food was. Like, and that's the person that seated us thought it was taking a while. So she came and asked what we wanted to drink. But then the server came up and was like, all right, I'm here. Good. Sorry about your wait, all that. What can I get you a
Yeah.
drink? And it was just nothing but good stuff from there.
Agreed.
Yeah. So shout out Cracker Barrel on this comeback episode of Tough Rooms Don't Last podcast. Okay. Oh, by the way, speaking of awards, for those of you watching on Spotify and YouTube, this is my age group award for the Watermelon 5K. I like it. It's a shoe, like with the meat of a watermelon at the front and the heel with the, what do you call it? The
Rind.
rind. There you go. I was like, it's not peel. I was like, I know there's a word for this. I can't think of it.
Yeah.
But just a cool little medal that I like. And yeah, it's got the water, like red, white, and it's got the Italian flag as the ribbon, but red, white, and green
There you go.
goes with watermelon. I wanted to say blue, but I was like, hence the pause. But cool age group award. I like it. The shirt's amazing too. I'll show it off a little bit for those, or what little I could show on the little webcam here.
I
But
do like the shirt.
yeah, describe, Michelle.
It's like a reddish pink and it says Hope Watermelon, and then it just has a triangle slice of watermelon with the seeds and the rind. It is a super cute shirt and it's very comfortable. I wore mine yesterday, but I like it.
Yeah, A+ shirt. I will actually keep this one. because that's one thing I have no problem getting rid of are race shirts because I know now I always donate them. I don't throw them away or anything. I always put them in a bag, take them to Goodwill, and donate them because somebody will wear it. For me, it's either, well, in some cases, it's a repeat shirt. Like for pacing gigs, I'll get the same shirt if I do the same race in a different town or whatever. Sometimes it's too tight. It's not comfortable, or I just flat out don't like the shirt. This one I like. It's comfortable. It's a little snug, but on my skinny days, um, I'll definitely wear it for sure. But I like the shirt all around. Very, very good shirt. Um, Better than last year's shirt. I wasn't a fan of last year's shirt. It was just too kind of generic for me. But this one, very well done. Also, that one was really snug. That one definitely went to Goodwill. So hopefully somebody's enjoying it, but I'm going to hang on to this one. All right. What else is going on in our world, Michelle, mixed in with running?
Well, do I get to talk about my experience running yesterday?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is where you jump in.
So I have not run, but I also don't run outside of these races.
For
So,
those of you that can figure that one out. All right, go ahead.
but I my goal yesterday was I think I had said 50 minutes because it was hot and humid. So I was not confident that I was going to be able to do very well. And I even said, I was like, there's going to be a lot of walking. Um, but I technically PR'd as an adult um, in the 5K, which isn't great, but still. I finished in 41:43, which was only a PR by a little bit, by like 5 seconds, but still. Um, I think that if there had not been the little hills, because I walked up there were two hills. They were small hills. But I walked both of them. And one of
They
them was like
felt
a longer one.
I say they felt bigger than they were just because of at the point in the race where they were.
Yeah, they were at towards the end after mile like 1.5 to I think one of them, the 2 mile, was in the middle of it. Um, and so it was just I was already a little tired. But so I think I could have gotten a little bit faster if it had been more flat, but I'm happy with my time because it was so hot. You talked about how you aren't sure if you like had an like the if you gave enough at the end. Um, I told you this, but there was a gentleman at the end of the race who was like yelling at people as they were coming up, like trying to encourage them. Um, and the guy yelled at me like, he basically said, you paid for this, give it all you got. And I was like, I'm okay. I'm good. I was done at the end. I crossed the finish line. I got my sponge, my water, and I literally went and I like went and sat in the grass for probably 5, maybe even 10 minutes because I was done.
Yeah, I didn't see you for a while after. That tends to happen with us. I've learned you just kind of go vanish somewhere, and I can never find you. Even when you said, because I was talking to my buddy Dale, who we share the last name. We're share the last name, but we're not related that we know
Yeah.
of. He killed it yesterday, by the way. Ran like a 21 something.
Yeah.
Knocked it out of the park.
Did really well.
Yeah, but we were talking. You said I'm going to go over here in the shade, and even pointed to where you were going. And I went over there a couple times, and you were nowhere to be seen. Just gone. I was like,
I
okay,
was.
well, I just give up at this point.
I was sitting in the grass in the shade.
If you say so. I mean, there wasn't much around, but there wasn't a lot of grass there. Like there was a lot of dirt over there. So, which is interesting. But uh yeah, what you were going back to the hills. I did look at my watch again. I had forgotten this, but I looked at it twice. I looked at it again. It was I think it was 2.23 miles is where I looked because I could see it was on that turn and you passed the water station,
Mhm.
and that's where you come across that next hill a little shortly after that. And I looked at my watch then. No, okay, three times. Because I looked again and it was at 2.5 miles. And I was thinking like I was trying to say you can do this for 2.5 or for half a mile longer. And I remember thinking, I don't think I can. Like
Yeah.
that's how hard I was or how tired I was.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I can do this for half a mile more. And you said saying this sitting down, comfortable, like half a mile, you can do that. It's like, no, not when I had already given that much, and when I wasn't in peak condition to begin with. Because over the course of these 5 weeks, I was the goal was to get better leading into Hope, but at a certain point, when I realized how heavy my workload was, I was like, I just need to maintain. If I can just maintain at this point, I'll be happy. Uh, Now I went on vacation the week before last, and I was in Destin, and so I didn't have to work that week. So I got up. Now I missed out on a lot of beach time because I was studying, but I did have time to go run. Like I had 4 runs in Destin, uh, two of which were with my brother, who's in better shape than me, or he's able to. He's faster than me right now, and he's able to handle this heat better than me. Um, That was a struggle. I mean, that was really good heat training, though. I mean, because I was gassed. I mean, I was more tired than I was yesterday after every run in Destin. Like to the point I would finish and I'd get back to our house and I would just go to the pool, take my shoes and socks and my watch off, and then I would just fall into the pool. That's how tired and hot and everything I was. Um, but I had to push myself to just not quit on every run, every single run. I ran 4 miles each time. The first day the goal was a 10K, and when we got to just before 3, I told Ben I was like, I can't do a 10K running. Like even if we go a snail's pace running, I can't make it. So I switched the goal to get to 4, and then walk the rest of the 10K. And we did that until the end where we were like, all right, let's finish running. We ran the last, I think, 0.75 miles back. We did that running. I had recovered enough to that point, but that was really good heat training. But that was the only week over these past 5 weeks I've really had time to get a full week of training in. It was this past week, I did one run prior to yesterday, Saturday, and that was Monday. I did no, I didn't. Okay, I didn't even get 4 miles in Monday. I got right at 3 on Monday because I had some. Here we go. You ready? I've had some major stomach issues, and I mean, it hit me. Okay, I started to feel something at 2.25 miles because normally on that route I run over to a neighborhood that's pretty far from my house. And when I started to feel that, I said, maybe I don't need to go to the bathroom, but maybe I need to not go over there and kind of cut back closer to home in case this hits me and I need a bathroom. So I started to do that and I got little in front of the high school and which is about a mile from my house, and it hit me instantly to the point I had to just stop running. Like I got to 3 miles and I just had to stop and walk because I was thinking maybe that will slow things down. Like maybe that'll slow the process of digestion down some, at least to where I don't poop myself. And then it wasn't going away. Like it wasn't getting worse, but it wasn't being fixed either. So I said, all right, well, if it's not going away, we might as well just run home. So I did that. I ran the last half a mile back to the house and made it in time to take care of business. And yeah, that was rough. So I didn't even get a full 4 in on Monday. But my stomach has been messed up over the last couple of weeks, and I just attribute that to heat training, stress, and more caffeine than usual just because of the workload I've had in school. And that's been the case. I've been a regular at 7 Brew for the last 5 weeks just because, and I didn't one week because I was in Destin. But that's what I attribute that to, just a combination of all those things. But I'm back to probably just once a week, once or twice a week at 7 Brew now. At least that'll be the case, probably once a week. I like to do it on Tuesday nights for that podcast. For the other podcast I do after work, I like to have one then. But I think that'll be it. I'm back on that normal schedule of caffeine intake now. This is
What?
cup of coffee. Hang on, cup of coffee number 2, and that'll be it for the day. So I'm halfway through that. But yeah, what else do you have going on, Michelle, or what you would like to add about hope or anything like that?
I don't have anything else to add. Um, you're done with school, but I start school in 2 weeks, so we're just trading off.
Yeah, we are. Uh, my class was, I wouldn't say it was difficult. The lecture exams tended to be difficult, but it was mainly just a lot of work. You're going back to law school, your third year of law school?
My third year.
All right. So, I mean, you're an upperclassman at this point, right?
I am. Yeah,
Well, that's pretty fun.
it's something.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fun, but you can do it. You're a smart gal. Um, well, me, I'm making it a point now since I've been so busy over the last 5 weeks and generally am anyway. I'm making it a point to take a couple of weeks. I did say one, but I think I'm going to take a couple of weeks and um, go do that. No, you don't have to pause, do you? Michelle and I are having a text conversation right now about something she needs to go do. If you need to just go do that, I'll just keep talking. All right, well, go do your thing, and I'll continue to talk as Michelle goes away. Um, but uh, but yeah, I don't even remember where I was going with that at this point. But I will say what I have going on next. What's next up for me? Oh, what I was going with was I'm going to make it a point to take a couple of weeks and just basically just work and train and watch TV, watch sports, go to a Travs baseball game, read, just do something besides just coursework because I've done so much over the last 5 weeks. I need some downtime. Try to get more sleep. That'll be another goal of mine. But the two main things: just go to work and get some training in, and then after that, I was fast. And then after that, just try to make it a point to relax. But you feel better?
I do, thank you.
Okay, good deal. All right. Well, I was basically saying I'm making it a point to relax over the next 2 weeks. I'd originally said one, but now I'm like, I think I want a couple of weeks of just
Yeah.
work, training. And that's the thing. Me relaxing is just picking back up my training routine, like full time, at least for me.
Yes.
Uh yeah, I want to do that. And but this coming Saturday, in 6 days, I have a 20-mile trail run, the Scorchin Squirrel 20-mile. Now there are 4 options, I believe. It's a 4 loop trail course. It's outside of Little Rock. I can't recall where. I don't have it pulled up or anything. Is there a way for you to pull that up? All right. we'll kind of end the show talking about this. But my brother and I are doing that race next Saturday, and there are four options. It's a four loop course, and you can kind of just do whatever you want. How this that's one thing about trail runs. It's a lot more laid back, and that's kind of what I will be shifting to after this year is doing more trail running as opposed to road racing. I'll continue to pace races on the road and things like that, but I'm basically going to be doing after this year trail running and pacing gigs. That'll be the extent of the races that I do mostly, and just a more laid back training schedule, and et cetera, just so I can make time for other things that I want to do in life. But this will be my third trail race that I do. And again, my brother and I are doing the 20-mile option. And what I was going to say, it's more laid back. You get these different options. Is we could go out there and run two loops and just say, all right, that's all we got today, or that's all I want to do. And then we can just say, hey, this is what we did. This was the mileage we did, and then that's what they'll record, and that's it. Like, you don't sign up for the 20K or the 20 mile and then have to do the 20 mile. It's you just sign up and then you choose your distance while you're out there. At least in this case, this is what you do. And they did the same thing for Cat Smacker back in May. What are you laughing at?
I'm reading what the race description says.
Would you like to read it?
It says this is a great race for heat training and for trying out trail running with the shorter distances. There's quite a bit of incline, throughout the course.
There is. And what's the location of it?
Ferncliff. So that's out like West Little Rock.
Okay, well, that's where I will be Saturday morning. Um, I need to, I still need to order, and I'll probably do this today. I need to order a vest um, to have on for water, etc. And I want the bottle one as opposed to the bladder. Now, does yours do both, or is it just bottles?
I can do both. So it has a bottle pocket in the front and it has a bladder pocket in the back. So when we did the half marathon attempt, I just had two bottles and I put one in the front pocket and one in the back.
But you haven't run with the bladder on your back.
Yeah.
No, you have or you haven't.
Oh, I have not. No, I don't
Okay.
have the bladder to put in it.
Okay, but you could get one and put in there if you wanted.
Yeah.
I've had most people tell me that the bottles are the way to go, but I've seen people with the bladder one. They said they like it too. So it's basically if you can handle the sloshing noise and all that. Now the guy who said that he likes it, he said he puts earbuds in just so he doesn't have to deal with that. But I don't run with earbuds. I don't want that. Um, I don't like music or anything while I'm running, so I don't want that. But I'm going to get one of those today. And then in a couple of weeks when we're back, we'll do a recap of that and talk about what we have next, which is after that, the next Grand Prix race is the ARC 5K in North Little Rock at the end of August. But until then, we're out of time. We're going to get out of here, but it's good to be back. I'm Graham Powell. That's Michelle. See y'all next time.
See ya.